Hello, Facebook Live, Friday, May 5th, 2017. Happy Cinco de Mayo to everybody. Maybe I should be wearing some kind of drinking not a martini, drinking a whatever the heck they drink in Mexico, and eating some kind of chips and guacamole. And anyway, we'll do that later. But for now, first things first, I want to share my rhino of the day. I share every day, other than the big guy up on the wall, one of my over 800 rhinos in my collection. And today, we'll just keep it simple with your standard, typical, common rubber rhino. Can I get him pointing to the camera? There we go. I must have about 4 or 5 of these because people are always giving me these as gifts. I love all rhinos as gifts. And so I'm always getting a few more of these because they're found all over the place. And so that is today's rhino. It's actually pretty substantial. It's solid and unbreakable, and it'll keep charging no matter what happens. And therefore, and actually technically must have about 2-inch thick skin. It's about 2 inches thick. Anyway, so today's point, I just got off a call. I do these calls with prospective clients. This person has badgered me for a little while, and just I got an email this morning. Hey, still haven't gotten that call, and can you help me with my business? I'm like, right, let's go make the call. And we got on a call, and she is quite successful, definitely knows what she's doing, but she's got a situation that she's run into that is, I'd say it's common, but it's pretty much universal with small business owners. And it is a stage in the business when someone is stuck at having a successful self-employment situation, being good at doing something technical, the doing of a business. And so she told me about what she's doing, and we didn't get into, of course, how she does it, but she's got a system for it and it works. And she makes a couple $100 grand a year, but she's stuck there and she's frustrated and she wants to make more. And of course, people might be thinking, well, a couple $100 grand, you ought to be happy with that. But she's got 2 high school kids, and pretty soon she might want to pay for them to go to college, which, is a choice between paying for their college or buying them a house, for crying out loud. And then perhaps, helping them out with wedding, marriage, buying a house, all that kind of stuff. So plus her own life. Doesn't she actually want to do stuff? A couple $100 grand is not a lot these days. Nowhere near, in fact, being in the top 1%. And so this is why there will always be a 1% and a 99%, no matter what any government taking, theft, regulations, mandates, laws try and do. Redistribution of wealth can only happen temporarily, because money will always go back to where it goes naturally, which is there'll always be a 1% and a 99%. And the 99% includes this person who is successful in paying her bills and doing a business, but there's something inside of her that said, after an amount of time of doing this, like, I'm frustrated and I want to grow. And yet she understands and she recognized that what's stopping her from growing is her insistence on control, that she's like just cannot delegate and hire somebody else and teach them her system and get them going. And it's natural that people do this, because that's an entirely different skill set, an entirely different thing. That'll be actually running a business, working on a business, instead of what she does now, which is what most small business owners do, is working in a business and just doing the work of the business. Most people start a business because they're good at doing something, but just being good at technically doing something doesn't mean you're good at running that kind of business. Of course, that's why people hire me and call me and contact me. That's what I've been doing. I run my own businesses. I still do. I have for over 40 years, but I've helped lots of entrepreneurs. I have that teaching thing in me that I think came from my mom being a school teacher, and just so naturally, maybe not naturally, but through my upbringing, was always around a teacher, and always just thought naturally, you learn something, you teach it. It's just the way it is. So I've always loved helping business owners, and this is a big stumbling block. So it is covered by what should be required reading. So hopefully you have your copy of Michael Gerber's The E-Myth: Why Most Small Businesses Don't Work and What to Do About It. Now, this is the original version from the mid-'80s, 86 or something, I think. And there's a newer version, 86, yeah. Then there was a newer version that he came out with, I think about 2004 or so, so 10, 15 years ago, called the E-Myth Revisited, okay, which is fairly, got a lot of new stuff. And I had that one too, gave it away to one of my clients, and obviously I can go get it back on Amazon or anywhere else that I want anytime. But I've read it a whole bunch of times and highlighted and dog-eared, and I've actually taught on it like I'm doing now. So the best way to learn anything, of course, is not just to read it or listen to it or attend the class, it's to teach it. The teacher always learns more than the student. So there's a ton of great concepts in there. Michael Gerber has been called the #1 small business guru expert in the world or whatever. And so a lot of great concepts. But the one appropriate here is this self-destructing behavior that will stop a business from growing beyond the competence level. So this person I spoke with this morning certainly has the business at a competence level. She's working from home. She's working the hours she chooses, making a couple $100 grand a year. But she knows she just can't bring herself. What she told me in her email, I have a mental block against delegating, handing over some of the control. Here's a simple solution from Michael Gerber, and hopefully you will still get the book because there's a ton more great stuff in there. But this is very common, and it keeps people at what I call pretty much a hobby level. Okay, when you're just the technician, just the doer of the business, it's kind of like, well, it's a great hobby. I mean, you get paid for your hobby, but it's something you are doing. Now, there's a reason that I named my corporation is called Successful Selling Systems, Inc., because that's what I do for my clients. I help them put in systems that help them to successfully sell and market and grow their company. So systems is the key, and Michael Gerber teaches and cautions and suggests that you picture that your business, here's the solution, you picture that your business is not just your business, that you get up every day and you run your business, that you picture it as a prototype, as if you're starting a franchise, and this will be the prototype for like 5,000 locations. Now, with that in mind, if you really keep that in the front of your mind, and that's how you approach your business every day, you'll very quickly stop doing everything in your business. There's several rules that Gerber talks about, and one of them is that you've got to make it so that every part of the business is performed by someone with the lowest possible skill level to perform that part of the business. And he says, yes, that's not a misprint. I said the lowest possible skill level. Now, there's a huge mistake that business owners make all the time is they think I got to hire the best person for the job. That will keep your business small. If you pictured it as, Gerber suggests, as a prototype, as this is the first one and I'm going to open 5,000 of these, you would say, I got to put a system in place and an operations manual, and nowadays you would shoot videos for it and have step-by-step directions and maybe include software or spreadsheets or notepad, whatever it is that can get, you could just take anybody off the street basically, plug them into 1, 2, 3, 4 with a decent amount of intelligence, right? Like think of McDonald's, the greatest business system ever created of all mankind. And if you haven't yet seen the movie, The Founder, which is all about life story of Ray Kroc, it's something you ought to see. It came out recently. You can find it on Netflix or whatever the heck online somewhere. Maybe it's even still in a movie theater somewhere if that's something you do, is go to movie theaters. I do. I love going to the IMAX, though, for some big spectacular special effects, something like The Founder, which is pretty much character study, not a lot of special effects. I wouldn't go pay, $30, $40, whatever it is for tickets, popcorn, and all that when you go to the movies. Anyway, I digress. So that is, picture that your business is like that, McDonald's. So somebody has $1 million, they invest in a McDonald's franchise, and then do they get the best possible employees they can find? Do they look for the smartest possible people? No, it's the opposite. See, they're following what Michael Gerber talks about. And Michael Gerber, his teaching comes from examining successful business systems. And so the McDonald's system is designed so that a whole bunch of teenage pimply-faced kids that can't even get to class on time and can't do pretty much anything right can operate $1 million business. And when so-and-so doesn't show up for a couple of days in a row, or he or she is late or whatever, it's easily replaced. Any person can come off the street have a little bit of training, press that button, the shake comes out with the perfect size and the perfect whatever, and then you put on the cap and you put in the straw, and that's it. And the fries, press a button, and the world's best fries are cooked perfectly every time with the right amount of heat, the right amount of time, and whatever, and you've just got to sprinkle on the right amount of salt, which, there is, for now. Pretty soon, robots are going to, replace all humans, and this is kind of why, because it's got to go to the lowest skill set, the lowest common denominator, which pretty soon is not even going to be people anymore. It's going to be robots, and that's the way you ought to think about your business. So that's it for today. That's the person I talked to this morning. If she's looking at her business like, man, I'm really great at it, and it's possible that you are really great at doing the business. Bully for you, that's fantastic, but you cannot grow. You cannot make it what I call a real business. You cannot scale it and grow it if you insist that not only you are doing lots of things in the business, but you'll only hire people that are excellent to be able to do the things in your business. You're going to grow extremely slowly, if at all. And so if you're happy making a couple $100 grand, $300, $400, $1 million, whatever you're making, if you're happy with that, and happy the fact that you have a job and you get up and you do the work, and if you don't do the work, that income doesn't come in, and you have no interest in being an entrepreneur and actually running a business, then you can totally disregard this video and don't get your copy of the E-Myth, and don't pay any attention to Michael Gerber or systems or anything I'm talking about, and be happy. Especially, you're making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, go ahead and be happy. But if you want to get into the 1%, if you want to go way beyond, if you want to run an actual business and be actually entrepreneurial and take advantage and look for opportunities and growth and scale, that comes down to the right mindset is where it starts. And that starts with saying, how can I set this up into a step-by-step 1, 2, 3, 4, so pretty much anybody ought to be able to come in, and I can have them doing this part of the business, then I have someone doing this part and doing this part, and then you can enjoy life and say, when I go away for a week somewhere, it's not, this person goes away for a week or two on vacation, there's no income coming in. Unless she, runs over to a computer. I used to do that, would run back to the hotel room and get on the computer and have to do everything, otherwise, there's no income coming in. Then when I realized the beauty of systems, and of delegating and hiring and training and outsourcing and teaching, and you can do this with either software or people or both. So you can delegate again, and pretty soon to robots, and certainly in some businesses, lots of robots. Amazon.com, their warehouse is pretty much like, I don't know what percent, but it's almost all robots, and there's a few people that take care of making sure the robots are doing things, but everything is robotically done, and that's the future of McDonald's and pretty much almost every business. So, if not every business, but that time hasn't come yet. However, it will. But for now, that's the mindset, is you got to relinquish the control if you want to grow. If you are happy just doing what you're doing and having a decent, good paying job, and you enjoy what you're doing, then you've got to banish all thoughts of growth and scale and becoming a millionaire and having a successful business and systems. Just get that all out of your mind and understand, I show up every day, I do the work, I make good money. Then this video, again, and I'm not for you. But if you're looking to, you've already got that, and you got something going, and you're looking for someone to help you to really systematize it now and turn it into, from a hobby, that you get paid for. So similar to people who do arts and crafts and then go to a craft show and sell their stuff on the table, or put their jewelry together or do whatever. It's their hobby. They like doing it, and then they get paid. That was my first business. I turned my hobby into a business. So I know what that's all about, and I've done it. So much better when I realized and I started to hire and train people, and no longer was I doing any of that stuff in the business. I started doing, and from then on only did, the things that only I should do. The big vision, the big thinking, the big plans for where to take the business, and changes being made, and the hiring decisions, and running the whole operation, and putting together the marketing concepts and the campaigns, and looking at where to go next, and the strategic decisions. I really enjoyed that, and I made a heck of a lot more money, and I didn't do any of the quote grunt work, which is well named, because if that's what you're doing, pretty much anybody can do it. So stop doing that. If you want to stop just having a job or doing a hobby, and you want to create a business. You got to put systems into place. Picture your business like it's the prototype for thousands of locations, and watch how differently you would approach every day, and you would get disgusted very quickly with the fact that you are doing lots of things in the business that somebody else ought to be doing. So I wish that for everybody. If you need help with that, like this person this morning, for sure, shoot me a message here. Email steve@stevesipress.com. Tweet me at Steve Sipress. Whatever you got to do to get a hold of me, I'll help you out. And we can talk about if it seems like a right thing, then we might go forward with the ongoing help and support, because that's just the first step. And there's many bumps along the way, and ups and downs and plateaus you'll hit, and you'll want to get over those, and you might want to get some ongoing help, and so we might be able to talk about that. But at the very least, I hope you get to the next step. That's it for today. Thanks for being here, and I will be back tomorrow with another daily Facebook Live video. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. Thanks for being here.